what you got to.
Good morning to one and all present here. I know it is a very early morning for all of you, Radha. Um, I'm sorry that I had to wake you up a bit early to join for this particular program at 9 a.m. Interestingly, the guest who's joining here today is joining from Chicago, where the time is. So let's respect his time and his efforts to join us late night from Chicago, only to guide us, only to empower us, and only to inspire us. Dr. Manu K. Ora. So welcome you, sir. He's one of those legendary thought leaders I've come across. When I come across students, all of them have got this question in them: what am I going to do next after my graduation? What will I do in life? Maybe like, do I study further? If I have to study further, what should I study? If I have to probably go for work, what should I do in work? Or maybe if I have to join my family business, do I have to probably start a business of my own? All of us have got variety of questions in our minds. Maybe I thought Dr. Manu Vora will be like one solution for all these questions. That's the reason why we have today this particular program on career development guidance. When we have used it in a very, very simple manner, career development guidance, this program is a power pack program where the content that you get is not something that you easily get anywhere. I don't want to probably stop or probably take away the time of Dr. Manu Ora. I urge the MC team to take over from here to introduce the guest to the rest of the participants. And all those who have got a questions to probably ask, feel free to probably put it up on the chat after his presentation. We will make sure every single question is answered. Thank you and welcome, Dr. Manu Ora. Thank you for joining us today from Chicago. And even though it is 10:30 p.m., thank you for probably thank you for spending the next 1.5 hours with our students. Thank you.
Thank you very much to Dr. K.K. Ramachandran ji for inviting me and spend some time with the students and share some thoughts about career development guidance. So thank you, Meera. Thank you, Kamal. Thank you, Ishaka, for very kind introduction. And let me begin to share the presentation and we'll have a fairly good dialogue. First, I'll share my thoughts and then we'll take all the questions we need to answer towards the end. So the roadmap for this morning is basically, I'll start with a learner engagement model and share with you the background for this presentation, which is spanning 58 years. Then there are 4 pillars of success in building our career throughout the lifetime. The first pillar is the focus on planning. Second pillar is understanding our strengths and leveraging it throughout the studies as well as in professional careers. The third pillar of success is soft skills. So we'll spend some time on those important soft skills. And the fourth pillar is community service. So with those 4 pillars of success, we will have the total presentation. And towards the end, I have a very highly motivational speech by one of the famous football coach from University of Notre Dame, Lou Holtz, and it's very uplifting and we'll leave it on a high note. So let's begin with the simplest of the thing that when all of you as a student studying at GDR, you are there to absorb the knowledge from the top flight faculty. And in order for you to get some knowledge, you need to be fully engaged in your learning by involving yourself in learning. And when you learn something new, focus should be to start applying it right away. Because when something is learned, unless you apply, it will not stay with you. So you begin to apply the new learnings, and then when you have applied it, you should be open to share it with the other students. And once you start working in the domain, any domain you choose, you should be open to share it with your colleagues. because this way everybody benefits from the new learnings and share the do's and don'ts. Now, this model I've been practicing for last 27 years as a faculty to engage students in my classrooms around the world. And it was crystallized during my first Fulbright Specialist project at IIT BHU, my alma mater, in 2018. At that time, there were 5 sub-projects, and one of the project was to create magic in the classroom for students' engagement. It was meant for the faculty and the research scholars. How can we empower them so they can engage students in the classroom? So this is the foundation. And I'll sincerely request all the students who are in this webinar today to immerse yourself, involve yourself in learning new things. And when you get some new ideas, you should be open to apply them and get the most benefit out of it and continue to share them so everybody benefits. Now, very briefly, the presentation has been put together based on my 58 years of journey, starting with the post-secondary, where I spent 2 years at Khalsa College in Bombay, now Mumbai. Then I was very honored to attend Banaras Hindu University Temple of Learning, built by Pandit Madan Mohan Malaviya ji. And in 2012, it became the IIT BHU. Came to Chicago in 1968 after earning my BTech and spent 7 years getting my master's and PhD. And I was also honored to receive the Tata Scholarship to study here in the US. While working in the chemical industry, towards the end of the chemical engineering tenure, I started doing my MBA at Keller Graduate School of Management. And so overall, 45 years corporate contribution, and last 20 years manage my own company as an entrepreneur. We already talked about 27 years as an educator, 50 years managing a number of non-profit organizations, and we'll talk briefly about it. And the last, this is all about the personal observation in the last 58 years of my journey. So let's begin the first pillar of success for managing your career. So first thing is planning. I'm sure those who are the students of the management, you would remember the name Dr. Deming. So Dr. Deming, along with Dr. Juran, were sent by the US government to Japan to rebuild the industrial economy. They taught Japanese how to do process improvement, quality management, etc. They took it seriously because they had lost everything. And as a result, they produced one of the finest electronics and automobiles in the world. So Dr. Deming's cycle is very instructive. There are 4 components: plan, do, study, and act. In the early stage, it was plan, do, check, and act. Dr. Deming in his later years did not like the check, which sort of gave the connotation of inspection. So he said, let's replace check with the study. And the guidance is you need a 10% excellent planning, but 90% flawless execution. The combination of 2 is extremely critical. And interesting line here, planning without execution is futile, but the execution without planning could be fatal. So you do need both the planning and execution. One is not enough. Now, planning means in our managing our career, we need to start planning our studies with the ultimate aim, which industry, which domain we want to work in. Once you find the right placement, you want to continue to grow. So all that plan has to be made and you continue to track your plans. But then you have to do the hard work, then doing the things needed to execute your plan. And when the results come in, you have to study the results. Are you getting what you had planned for, or are you away from your plans? Then you have to make necessary changes during the act phase and then continue on this cycle. Now, I want to make brief comments about India scene. I've been teaching, starting with the Great Lake Institute of Management in Chennai since 2006, taught at a number of other institutions, including IIT BHU and other places. What I observe is in India, we do not have good focus on planning. A lot of things happen almost at the last stage. Things do happen, and most of the time it happens okay, but when they go wrong, they can go wrong very badly. So I sincerely urge all of you to keep the planning as a very important pillar of success in navigating your careers through the studies and the workplace. Next, I want to bring up the concept of theory of strength. So this is the work from the Gallup organization. So Gallup is a marketing company very active during the political season. They do a lot of sampling and polling, who will win, who will not win, etc. Now, they studied the successful people from around the world, and they would develop 34 major strengths written up in the book called Strengths Finder 2.0, published in 2007. Now, according to Gallup, the strength is defined as the ability to consistently provide near perfect performance, the ability to consistently provide near perfect performance. So graphically, when we look at it, strength is in the middle. It's a multiplier of talent, time, investment. There are three bubbles: thinking, feeling, and behaving. That's part of your talent, which you already have. And the investment in building up your skills, knowledge, and experience are the other three bubbles at the bottom. Now, I'm sure some of you may be familiar. Dr. K.K. Ramchandranji, he was talking about this model, and I was so happy to hear that, because I've been subscribing to this model for a long time. And particularly when I consult with the industry people, I tell them that if you find out what your strengths are, keep leveraging them, and that will give you the best output, best results. Now, a couple of quick examples. A ping pong player was spotted by a coach who was so good with the forehand stroke, he decided to give him extra practice, not to worry about the backhand stroke. And he won the world championship. Why? He was playing with his strengths. Secondly, all of you are in the at GRD having 5 classes, 5 subjects per semester. You get 3 A's, 1 B, and 1 C. If you are sitting down with your parents or guardians to discuss how you are doing in the college, normally the focus will come on C. The theory of strength is totally opposite. The more discussions should revolve around 3 A's to make sure A's will remain A. C will hardly become A, but provide some resource, so C may go to the B. So focus on strengths and manage weaknesses so they don't come in the way of the strengths. And I'm sure you may have either found out your strengths, or if not, you can buy this book, Strengths Finder 2.0. And let me ask Dr. Ramchandranji, is everybody in the GDR there have taken this test, and do they know their strengths?
No, sir, we haven't done that.
Yeah.
Normally we do it in the third year, and this year the third year happens to be pandemic, so that's the
Yeah.
zone that we are traveling through. We will do it maybe very soon, sir.
Yes. And it's very important to understand our strengths. So what happens is, I mentioned, and during this presentation, whenever I've given, that we work through our life constantly going in different directions. And towards the end of the life, we realize that these are our strengths. And this is what I should have done. Rather than go in 10 different directions, I could have focused on one direction, which could have helped me to progress much better. And of course, you can buy the book, and you have to buy a new book, because at the back of the book, there's a sealed envelope with a code on it. And you take the test using the code. And in half an hour, when you answer all the questions and you hit for the results, you will get your top 5 customized strengths out of the list of 34. And I'm sharing with you my personal top 5 strengths. And by the way, I bought 3 books, one for myself and 2 for my both sons, and they have used it and they have done well in life. The younger one joined after getting degree from University of California at Berkeley in economics, joined the Google for 8 years. Currently is with LinkedIn. And the elder son went to Stanford for computer science, then did MBA at the Kellogg School of Management. And currently, after working at McKinsey, he is with the Google in Chicago for the last 3 years. So my top 5 strengths are: first is I'm an arranger, more like a conductor of a symphony where I could see a lot of moving pieces and able to arrange them so that beautiful music will come. Secondly, I'm an achiever. I have an inner drive which keeps me moving. Third, I'm a learner. I go from ignorance to competence. Fourth, I'm a maximizer, look for excellence, first from myself and then from people around me, including my family members. And the fifth, I'm a relator. Once I come in contact with people, tendency to build a relationship. So the guidance is leverage your strengths. First, understand your strength, focus on those strengths while studying at GDR, as well as use them fully in managing your career. Now, Gallup wrote another book called Soar with Your Strengths. And there's a humorous sentence there, which is, you don't teach a pig to sing, it annoys the pig and wastes your time. So in reality, what we do is we focus on negatives and weaknesses all the time, beat up people. We ignore the strengths and the good things they bring on the table. So the theory of strength is exactly opposite the way we do business in life. So focus on your strengths and make sure that whatever weaknesses you have, they do not come in the way of strengths so that you can do the best and achieve the best results. Now, I want to start setting up the stage for the importance of the soft skills. And here is the initial data coming out of the World Economic Forum Future of Job Reports 2022 versus 2020. Now, focus on the left-hand side, left column. There are 4 items color-coded, which means repeat from 2020 at different positions. And if you reflect on these 10 important skills needed to be successful globally, most of these skills are not integrated in the curriculum at colleges and universities. And as a result, when students graduate, they are not ready to tackle the real life problems and issues, and they cannot hit the ground running. So I think it is very important to integrate this skills area, which are required in the workplace, so that when students graduate, they have the exposure, they understand the importance of it, and they can utilize that to hit the ground running. Now, one more data point for importance of soft skills. So all the surveys point out that the more than 90% of the executives are looking for more soft skill compared to the hard or technical skills. See, all the students focus on technical skills only. And a lot of us neglect the soft skill, including myself. So when I graduated in 68, I was a rank holder, technically very strong, but I was not good in soft skills. And those soft skills I've acquired over the period of time working with multinationals, going through the graduate work, etc. And the last item shows that for the new people, the students who are joining in the workplace, ability to work in the team is more desirable compared to the hard or analytical and quantitative skills. So remember, soft skills are the one. If you focus on them, then when you master your soft skills, you master your destiny. Let's begin the journey in the soft skills. The first one is the communication, the foundation. Second half of the slide is very instructive. It says no matter what job you have in life, your success is determined 5% by your academic credentials, 15% by your professional experiences, and lopsided 80% by your communication skills. And fill in the blank other soft skills such as leadership, decision making, time management, teamwork, project management, meeting management, etc. Now, in communication, we need to be proficient in verbal, non-verbal, written, and presentation. Each of them have to be meaningful, and it has to be effective, and also each one of them will require tremendous amount of practice. So as I mentioned, when I graduated, I was afraid to speak to the group of 5 to 6 people. And when I came here, I realized that if I don't speak up, people will take me as a fool. So I started opening up, and then I had a mentor at AT&T Bell Labs where I spent 17 and a half years. He essentially asked me to come out of the shell and don't be afraid to speak up in public. And he mentored me, coached me, and now as a faculty, you have to pay me to stop talking. So this is the matter of time, right? If we keep practicing, we can overcome the fear of speaking and communicate it in a better way. Now I'll give you a couple of short examples. So one is there was a highly technical company, people with 15, 20, 30 years experience. A new person joined who was technically okay, understood the issues, but he was extremely good with the soft skills and ability to get the work done through people. He got the promotion. So people who were there for a long time, they got agitated, went to see the manager, and manager set everybody down. He said, look, I can hire all of you techies dime a dozen, but to find a rare combination of good technical understanding, but more than that, best soft skills and ability to get work done. That is the rare combination, and as a result, he is getting promoted. I'm not doing him a favor. So remember, when we graduate from the top institute, GDR, you have a lot of great ideas, but if you cannot communicate it across the table with your team members, those ideas will remain ideas and it will not be implemented and you will be frustrated. So focus on communication. This should be the lifelong pursuit. Keep improving the communication. It will carry you a long way. Next, decision making. Now, I'm sure those who have done the operations courses will realize this is a quality management tool coming from Japan, a tree diagram. It looks like an organization chart sideways, and the example shown here is not the most appropriate during the COVID pandemic, but when things improve after the vaccination is effective, etc. Decision level 1 is you want to go on vacation. It will open up 3 options at decision level 2, and for each of the decision level 2, there are further options at decision level 3, leading to a specific outcome. So you can see here on a single piece of paper, all the information is put together to move from your initial decision to the final outcome by selecting a specific line by choosing the options you want to exercise. And this is a neat way of organizing your thoughts and all the information on a single piece of paper to make wonderful decisions. Now, I'm sure this one is continuation of the decision making. Now, your choice to go into various branches. All of you are in the School of Business and Management, so you went into business, but there is a specialization. I chose during my MBA marketing as my major, but you could do accounting, finance, strategy, IT, etc. I'm an engineering graduate. Some of you may have, those who are studying MBA may have the basic engineering degree. I chose chemical engineering, and there in the last year I had a petroleum engineering as a minor. and specialization. Some of you down the road may enter into the law. There you could have corporate law, real estate law, patent law, etc. Some of you may want to get into medicine down the road. Lot many choices: pediatrics, internal medicine, family practice, orthopedic surgery, etc. And some of you will excel in fine arts or liberal arts, life sciences, or in pharmaceutics, with ultimate aim to find some meaningful work. So education allows you to become proficient, having the right knowledge and the skills, so you find a meaningful work. Now, most of you will join the corporate, some of you will become the educator, some will join the government sector, some will be working in the NGO or R&D labs, and those who are brave enough, they will start their own companies. So let me share with you a simple episode. We had a pleasure to host Dr. Muhammad Yunus, the Nobel laureate, Peace Laureate, here in Chicago in 2015. He had come to my institute to deliver a special lecture, and we escorted him for interview at the Chicago Public Radio. During that radio interview, he made a profound statement that our education system is lopsided. It creates more job seekers than the job creators. We need to teach entrepreneurship and empower students to become the entrepreneurs. So rather than keep begging for job, you create the job to employ others. So you have to be focused on becoming an entrepreneur, and the rewards are many. Of course, it requires a lot of hard work, but it's worth it compared to when you go and work for somebody else. Now, the next topic, the importance of skill, is the teamwork. Now, in the last century, the 20th century, we needed to be proficient into three areas: reading, writing, and arithmetic. But in the 21st century, those three things are given. We need to pick up three additional skills: the teamwork, problem solving, and project management. Teamwork, problem solving, and project management. If we are proficient in those three skills, we can navigate ourselves in the competitive global arena. Now, there is a wonderful book written by Patrick Lencioni. Title of the book is Five Dysfunctions of a Team. So when a team is chartered, it's the role of the team leader to find out whether all the members, 6, 7 members working in the team, are there any dysfunctions present? So the first dysfunction is the absence of trust. And how do you create trust? By being vulnerable, sharing your strengths and weaknesses. Remember theory of strengths. It comes in handy for making the assignment for the team leader. Secondly, there is a fear of conflict. Now, when the meeting is happening, some important topics are under discussion. 1 or 2 people out of 6 or 7 is speaking up. Rest of them are keeping quiet. So decisions are made on the limited info. And then when meeting is over, those who did not speak up will hold a parking lot meeting saying it was person A or B's idea. We have nothing to do with it. And that's a highly dysfunctional team. So we do not need to create artificial harmony. We need to focus on constructive conflict. So that way we provide different viewpoints. Out of that, everybody's viewpoints are heard. Critical decisions are made using the funnel approach, where all the information goes in the mouth of the funnel and it comes out 1 or 2 key areas to focus on, then everybody falls behind 100%. Third, lack of commitment. When the task or a subtask is assigned to a team member by the team leader, it should be absolutely clear, no ambiguity. When there is a clarity, people can commit. Next, When people are assigned the task or a subtask, they are responsible for delivering their results because collectively the team will put together the final output. If one or two people do not provide the input needed on a timely basis, then the final outcome will be suboptimal. And the last one, lot of time people either through their own status or the position and they have the personal ego, they forget why they were on a team and they take the eyes off the results. So they need to focus on the results, why the team is chartered, and secondly, they should forget about their personal ego and focus on achieving the goal for the team. Now, when all these five dysfunctions are assessed, none of them are present, the entire team is ready to fire away on all six cylinders. That is just for the fun. Now, what is team? The team is many hands and one mind. When everybody puts their own individual ego aside and band together for the success of the team, that team will be the most powerful one and will achieve the best results. Now we talk about a little bit on the time management. I'm sharing with you the Eisenhower box with the y-axis either important or not important and x-axis urgent or not urgent. In this diagram, the focus should be in the top right quadrant, important and not urgent. This is where we should be spending 90 to 95% of the time and make sure that we are working on the important issue of planning, training, working with the stakeholders, and when we achieve good results, take some time out to recharge your battery. Top left, important and urgent, you need to spend no more than 5 to 10%. And I'm sure you are realizing this is the firefighting box. Now, sometimes in the organization, there are clever people who will start the fire and they will come rushing in with the fire extinguisher to put the fire off, which they started on their own. Unfortunately, top management have no idea who is doing what, so they get recognized as heroes and they get praised and rewarded. If you really want to recognize, focus on those people who are working on important but not urgent things. And in order to manage your time effectively, bottom right quadrant, not important, not urgent, delete it 100%. And bottom left, not important, urgent, start delegating it appropriately. So by having this prioritization, you will be able to manage your time effectively because the demands will keep on increasing as you progress in life. During the studies, every year you have to do more, and in the workplace, more and more will be required to be done. The time is fixed. Now, I came across a very nice definition of time. It says, time is slow when you wait. Time is fast when you are late. Time is deadly when you are sad. Time is short when you are happy. Time is endless when you are in pain. Time is long when you feel bored. So every time is determined by your feelings and psychological conditions, and not by the clocks. So have a nice time always. Next, second critical skill needed in the 21st century is the problem solving. If there are any engineers, I'm an engineer myself. We a lot of time first find the solution, then we keep hunting for what problem are we solving. So that's a wrong approach. You need to take time to understand properly, take time to properly define the problem. That's when the journey starts. Secondly, find out magnitude of the problem using the data, where the problem is coming from. Third, determining the root causes, what is causing that problem. Fourth, find possible solutions to address the root causes. And when you find some solutions which can reduce the root causes, try to make them as a permanent solution, and then you are ready to tackle the next most important problem. So this is not a rocket science. we all need to have this basic understanding how to do problem solving, because keep in mind, when you join the workforce, you will be given many problems to solve: customer problem, operation problem, finance issues, employee issues, etc., competition issues. And each of the problem will require this discipline. And when you have that discipline, you can find the best solution by applying this simple knowledge of problem solving. The third is the project management. I'm sure all of you have done projects during the college time, university time. In the workplace, most of the work done gets done through the teams on various projects throughout the life. Now, research shows that world over, about 25 to 30% of the projects are successful, rest fail. And in government sector, only 1 out of 5, 20% are successful. So that's a tremendous waste in the society. And I can tell you my experience in India scene, we can do better for managing the projects. Now, in order to improve your success rate from 25 to 30% to all the way to 100%, we can leverage the learning from the beautiful article from MIT Sloan Management Review, where project leaders can overcome 5 crises of silence. So the first one is plan the project around the facts. Secondly, project sponsor must provide support through the life of the project. Third, the team should be faithful to the project management process. Fourth, the team must honestly assess the progress and risk on a regular basis. And fifth, all members of the team must pull their weight. So take a case where there are 7 members, 5 of them are working diligently, but 1 or 2 are sort of taking it easy and slacking off. Now, their input is vital to combine with the others' input and make the final output for the entire project. So when 1 or 2 are slacking off, either others will have to take on that role, or team leader may have to bring in new people to help out. And that creates a lot of issues, and you will be missing the target schedule. You will overrun the budget, and you will not achieve the performance target which was agreed upon in the front. So all members of the team should do their part and contribute to their maximum capacity. Now I come to the change management area. So keep in mind that all of you have chosen management and specialization of your interest. But once you begin to start working, your dreams can change, your likings will change, new circumstances will provide you more opportunities. And if you are flexible with your decision making, you can continue to grow and make progress in different directions. And I want to share with you my personal story. So I started with chemical engineering simply because I was very good with chemistry and mathematics. So I chose chemical engineering. Then I worked in the industry, chemical industry, for about 7 years, laid off. I started doing my MBA and got picked up by the AT&T Bell Labs in New Jersey. And it was telecommunications. So change from chemical engineering to telecommunication. I learned enough things there, but then specialized in quality improvement and started teaching total quality management at a business school here. And along the way, after leaving AT&T Bell Labs, started my own company. So I'm an entrepreneur, and also managed the NGOs for the last 50 plus years. So the life provides us many opportunities, and keep in mind, life is never a straight line. You will have so many changes, so many directions coming to you, so many opportunities. And if you are open, flexible, and prepared, you can take advantage of those opportunities and make the most in your life. Now I come to the fourth pillar, the community service, and I begin to share with you simple wording from Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya, who started the Banaras Hindu University in the year 1916, indigenous university built by the resources from Indian people, not the foreigners. And what he says is, I have no desire for kingdom, no desire for heaven, no desire for moksha. The only desire I have is to mitigate the sorrow of the living beings who are ridden with sorrow. I want to shine light into the darkness before people's eyes. He was very big on educating the youth, which will help in nation building, and also not only the technical expertise, but pick up a social cause and uplift the people who are downtrodden and help them, because we have gotten so much more compared to others who are struggling. So in this segment, I want to share with you my two case studies. The first one is the Free Gyan Dan, started in 2013. And I came across this saying that when you share the knowledge, it multiplies. And when you hoard the knowledge, it dies. It's a very simple but profound statement. And I've learned this because I've learned from so many different sources, so many different people, so many mentors. It's my privilege to keep sharing it so that others benefit from it rather than hide the knowledge or hoard the knowledge. So, as I mentioned briefly, I come across brilliant students in India. They neglect the soft skills, focus only on the hard skills. So, put together, designed, developed, and delivered a 12-session program called Leadership Excellence Series with the 5 items in blue, soft skills, and 7 items in red, the quality management topics. We experimented this at IIT BHU, my alma mater, using Google Hangout. All the sessions were recorded on YouTube. So the Google Hangout was free. Session recording, YouTube was free, and we made it public. And it's written up at the American Society for Quality India office. Link is shown, and I'll be happy to share this presentation with KKR, sir. And you feel free to share it with everybody who is attending it so that they can all benefit from it. And then we expanded this scope of the Leadership Excellence Series to well over 100 colleges, universities. And in the 3 years between 2013 to 2016, 675,000 people benefited, mainly students, faculty, and professionals. And now during the pandemic, almost 200,000, 2 lakh people have benefited with 60 plus webinars. And overall, 9 lakh people have benefited from this soft skill program. And here is the glimpse of it. I won't go into a lot of details, but it spans the Tata Network Forum, where 5 sessions, every session about 1,000 executives from around the world, well over 150 to 160 locations will participate in our hour and 15 minutes meeting. Then various places, Madras Management Association hosted 6 sessions on soft skills. Patuk Gala College in Mumbai, their entire faculty and staff went through this program, and now they are including soft skills in the curriculum. And number of other places we have conducted this soft skill program with a tremendous impact. So in 2016, when I was visiting India, Swami Nikhleshwaranandji, shown in the middle in the top right picture, he was with the Ramakrishna Mission in Vadodara. Currently is posted as Atyaksh in Rajkot Ramakrishna Ashram. He took me to Gandhinagar at BISEC studio, the capital of Gujarat, and Commissioner of Higher Education, Mr. A.J. Shah in the white shirt, he has now retired. He gave me 45 minutes to give a talk on effective time management. Via satellite, we connected with 450 colleges throughout the state of Gujarat. and 5 lakh students benefited with the live presentation. And then the link is shown here, professionally recorded. And there are a number of good ideas. How can we be more effective in managing our time? So what is the future direction? I want to share with you a skilling model. I've done some work on the ground in Cairo, Egypt, training government officers in various ministries. And last 4 years ago, there was a interest from the brand new university coming up in Alexandria in Egypt. Egypt has similar problem like India, unemployment, underemployment. So they asked me to put together a simple model on soft skills. So I created a curriculum for leadership, communication, research method, quality methods, community service, and entrepreneurship and soft skills, 7 areas. So each of these subjects are studied along with the core curriculum, engineering, business, pharmaceutics, and medicine. Now, each of these courses, they study theory, and then they have the teamwork done on the project. It's done on a team basis. They get graded, and a report card is created. At the end of the 4 or 5 years program, the report card is ready every year. They keep learning new things, and they have to achieve at least 80% to get the degree, final degree. And this way, when they go and approach the employer, the prospective employer, they will see the students stand out because they have the exposure to these skills, and they get recruited over the other students who do not have the exposure, and they can progress well in the life at the workplace. So bottom line, when you master your soft skill, you master your destiny. And this is the crux of the matter. We need to incorporate soft skills in our curriculum. And interestingly, currently there is a National Education Policy, NEP 2020. I'd given a lot of input and honored to be part of the committee developing the implementation strategy and the plan at the national level. I'm the 10th member outside of India. 9 vice chancellors are sitting on the committee, and we are working on developing the implementation plan, which will change the entire landscape of Indian education system for next 20 years. The second community service model is the free Chakshudan, started in 1989, so we are in the 32nd year. And the stanza in Sanskrit, Tamso Ma Jyotirgamaya, God kindly lead us from darkness to light. So we started this foundation back in 1989 with the focus on preventing and curing the blindness and educate and rehabilitate permanently blind people in India. India has 15 million blind people, accounting for 1/3 of the world's blind population. And incidentally, my wife and myself, we were in Coimbatore in February 2019 for a visit to the Vivekananda University, where we are supporting 44 blind children and gave a interaction with the faculty managing the disabled students. Some 50 odd faculty came, and we spent about hour and a half interacting. How do we engage the students who have disabilities, etc. And the impact is tremendous. Since 1991, we have raised now $5 million, 210,000 free cataract operations, 2 million people, 1 million adult, 1 million children, free eyesight checkup, 10,000 braille kits, 134 mobile vans, and with Rotary Foundation, we have done matching project to the tune of $5 lakh. Now, I'm sure most of you will be buying something on Amazon. So if you buy on Amazon, keep Blind Foundation for India as a recipient of your purchases, and automatically when you go to smile.amazon.com, select Blind Foundation for India, whatever you purchase, 0.5% will come to the Blind Foundation automatically. And this is the one way to help improve the lives of the blind men, women, and children in India. So in summary, giving back impact since 89 to present, free Gyandan, 9 lakh people have benefited. And for the 32nd year, 20 lakh people have received the benefit of free eyesight checkup, cataract operations, vitamin A, etc. So let us light a lamp of knowledge to eliminate darkness of ignorance. A couple of quick items, and then we'll be ready for the YouTube and then take question and answers. Now, all of you, when you graduate, you have a dilemma. What do you put on your resume? You need to have a balance between hard and soft skills. And when you put the skills on the resume, you should back it up with the evidence and also continue to develop skills you are lacking depending on what job you are trying to look for. In coming to a summary part, success factor, and I'll focus on student. Master your subjects, show respect to faculty. We say, Guru Vina Gyan Nahi. We have to respect the faculty because they are the one who give you the knowledge. For better retention, pre-read and post-read chapters during the class, ask questions, take notes, make sure you are clear with the topic at hand. Excel in both technical and soft skills. Do not neglect soft skills. Be up to date, open to new options, explore the electives, variety of subjects, appreciation for national and international issues, be socially responsible, and if you are good at studies, mentor other students. It will enrich your own knowledge, and it's a great satisfaction to help others. Now, one last item before we come to the YouTube. I'm sure some of you may have heard the name Professor Clayton Christensen. He was one of the most admired faculty from Harvard Business School. He has passed on. He gave this lecture, How Will You Measure Your Life, to the graduating class at Harvard Business School. And this was during the time when the real estate bubble had busted and people were having hard time getting a job placement. And so he told them that like you manage the strategy in the corporate world, you need to measure your life by focusing on what's important in your life. So create a strategy. Secondly, allocate your personal resources wisely. Create a family culture of collaboration. Avoid this just once is do not cross ethical boundary. Next, getting degree from Harvard Business School, do not have a lot of air in your head. Be humble. When you come in contact with someone other than yourself, you can learn from everyone because everybody has something to contribute. And the last one, measure your life with the right yardstick, not how much money you make, how many cars you have, how many vacation homes you own, but how many people have you touched during the life. That should be the right yardstick to measure your life. And I'm very happy to report that almost approaching 3 million people, 30 lakh people who have been benefited through the Blind Foundation and now through the free Gyandan project. So we are ready for wonderful YouTube. So let me start that. It's very motivational and uplifting. So kindly enjoy and take some good learnings from it.
I was born with a silver spoon in my mouth, I know. I was born in Fallsby, West Virginia. And I went by where I was born last night, about 10:30. I was born in a cellar at home, delivered by Dr. McGraw. We had one bedroom for my sister, myself, and my parents. We had a half bath and a kitchen. 7.5 years we lived in that place. There was no welfare. There was no food stamps. There was no safety net. But I always had plenty to eat. Because every time I asked for seconds, my dad would say, no, you had plenty. But the reason I was born with a silver spoon, my dad had only gone to the 3rd grade. That's all the education he had. But why was I born with a silver spoon in my mouth? Because I was taught by my parents that life's a matter of making choices, wherever you are, good or bad, because of choices you make. Don't blame anybody else, but if you get an education, you're willing to work and overcome problems and difficulties, in this great country, you can amount to something. That's why I was born with a silver spoon. I was in this country and I was taught personal responsibility for choices you make. When we talk about a commitment to excellence, that's a choice you make. What do you want to do? Having hopes and dreams and ambition. See, I think that is absolutely critical. Don't make the mistake I made. I've done a lot of dumb things, but let me tell you the one thing I regret. We went to the University of Notre Dame. We took a program on the bottom. We took it to the very top. And for 9 straight years, we went to a January 1 bowl, the sugar, the cotton, the orange, or the fiesta. Nobody's done it before. Nobody's done it since. We put it on top and we maintained it. And that's the thing I regret the most. See, there's a rule in life, but then you're either growing or you're dying. The tree's either growing or it's dying. So's grass, so's a marriage, so's a business, so's a person. Doesn't have a thing to do with age. My birthday candles cost more than a cake. But it has everything to do. Am I trying to get better? Am I trying to prove? We got on top and say, you know, this is pretty good. Let's maintain it. Let's not take any risk. We finished second in the country at Notre Dame. Everybody called me an idiot. Guy finishes last in medical school. They call him doctor. That doesn't seem fair. When I left Notre Dame, I never thought I'd coach again. Where'd you go from Notre Dame? According to my mother, you go directly to heaven, you sit by the Pope. You don't coach anymore. And then I went to live in a town where the average age was deceased. And what I found out, I wasn't tired of coaching. You have to have something to hope for, something to dream. And even though you've done great things so far, what's going to happen now? I want to give you a simple plan. Life doesn't have to be complicated. I try to keep life simple. Do you realize there are only 7 colors of the rainbow? Only 7. Look what Michelangelo did with those 7 colors. There's only 7 musical notes. Look what Beethoven did with those 7 notes. There's only 10 numbers. Look what Bernie Madoff did with those 10 numbers. The point I make is it doesn't have to be complicated. See, you need 4 things in your life. If you don't have any of these 4 things in your life, you're going to have a tremendous void. See, everybody needs something to do. Number 2, everybody needs someone to love. Number 3, everybody needs someone to believe in. In my case, is Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. But the 4th thing you need in your life is you need something to hope for. There's never a right time to do the wrong thing. And there's never a wrong time to do the right thing. Just do what's right. I think it's right to be honest, right to be on time. See, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy life. Have fun. You're going to have problems. You're going to have difficulties. That's part of life. And don't tell people about your problems. Do you know that 90% of the people don't care? And the other 10% are glad you got them. So you're better off keeping yourself. You're going to have problems. But have fun with what you're doing. People say, did you have fun doing the ESPN? Not really. Because if you have fun being there, people have fun being around. Doesn't mean I don't do dumb things. And sometimes I wasn't real honest. Do everything to the best of your ability with time allotted. You know, ladies and gentlemen, not all of us be All-American. Not everybody can be first team. Everybody can be the best you're capable of being. And I want to tell you, if you want to fail, you have the right to fail. That's what's great about this country. You do not have the right to cause other people to fail because you don't do everything best your ability. When you join a spouse, you bring a child in the world, you join a business, you join a team. You have obligations, responsibilities, and you owe it to other people to do the maximum you can at each and everything you do. It's not complicated. And the last rule, to show people you care. And you walk in the room, your attitude, hey, here I am, look at me. I thought, no. Your attitude, there you are, how can I help you? I wish I knew those 3 rules when I was 21. I've used them for the last 40 years. There's a statue of me at Notre Dame. I guess they need a place for the pigeons to land, but if you go look at it, just don't look at 3 words on the pedestal: trust, commitment, love.
So wonderful, uplifting message from Coach Lou Holtz. So in summary, all of us should chase excellence, then success will come running after us. So focus on excellence and success will come. Remember Nike, top center, just do it. I think we have a tendency to keep debating, and when time comes for action, we have left the ground and debating next big thing. Extreme right, expect nothing and appreciate everything.